Hello and welcome everyone, or welcome back if you're returning to the channel. This is Dina with Impressive Warrior, and this is going to be the Daily Dharma. Today we've got the spread nearly fully laid out. I'm going to try to make it through that as simply as possible as sort of a pre-message and then take another layer on the cards at the end here. So the message I was getting a few days ago is something about that people are wondering where you've gone to. It's though you kind of vaporize in between emerging into either your social media, your community, your groups, your friends, and then almost like you go ghost for a little while and people are like, what's really going on? It's generating a little bit of a buzz, like whatever happened to so and so. They used to be out here all the time. And what I'm getting is that during this time, you're either working very diligently on your own spiritual practice, your healing, something like that, something very personal and uplifting for yourself, or you're really working on your more entrepreneurial success story and making some type of vision, creative project, or actual enterprise come to full physical manifestation. So, whichever thing is going on, I am sensing that in the background, there's another story emerging of why is it necessary for this time away? And I'm getting that it's very restorative for you. It's very soothing, and it comes from a very foundational, whether you call it a coping mechanism or just a behavioral trait. You have seen, apologies for the puppy noise. We'll pause in a moment and I'll deal with that. It seems that from an early age, you've really had clarity of thinking, or at least your time apart really helped you to gain insight into your own alignment, your own powerful insights, and your own version of things. It's as if even there is your own version of self that others don't get to fully realize, because it's like on some kind of quantum level, you exist as this energetic waveform, pure potentiality behind the mirror of others' perceptions, even your own perhaps, and then in between being observed or charting some type of progress in your own little progress markings or journaling practice. There's like these pockets of time where you absolutely go into astral in some type of a way and are working and flowing with things on a very energetic level. And so it's as if, like, the tree that falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, it's like you kind of step back behind this curtain. I'm seeing that meme where there's some kind of introvert, and then you see this person like standing there, and all of a sudden they're like stepping back into this hedge, and then all of a sudden they just are completely obscured by this bush. And that's kind of what I'm getting with you. It's like, all right, I'm showing my face. All is well. Hope you guys are well. Anybody need anything? You good? You good? You good? All right, I'm good. See ya. Bye. And then you zoop, go right back off. Exit stage left, I'm hearing. So I'm kind of seeing there's this theme that came through a few months ago in someone else's reading that's coming through for me now. It's like almost like the theater of life that you are engaged with here. There's been some ability for you to hold your own very unique perspective aside and apart from the observations of others. And it's a way that you are able to really work with the spiritual forces and energies, elementals, and so on, in order to work on your abundance consciousness at 4:44 on the timer here. Because I'm getting freedom coming out with prosperity, consciousness, And this is the pineal perspective, third eye. So you've got this very visionary, ideal sense of things. And it looks like when you're alone, you really can digest something. We do have the integration card coming out. So let's read it from the top down. What is this dimensional shift? And yes, one last thing before I read this card. So the idea for this came as far as like there's this concept that I read about in a book. I'm not sure if I've talked about it on the channel yet or not, but it's talking about that it was in this Arthurian legend where there was this group of high priests and high priestesses that practiced a lot of magic, and the outer world at first was very used to this, and the more that the rise of organized religion and government became more popular, more socialized, the magical aspects of individuals, the natural connection with the natural world began to be less and less magnetic as these people kind of symbolically moved towards the city and away from the forests and away from the island where all of this magical practice was being mentored and sustained. And the further people got away from resonance with that magical perception, the less it existed for them. And even people who had once been to this island started to forget its location. They couldn't find it. They would sometimes become lost in the mist for days in fairyland in between the third dimensional realms and the magical place. And I'm sensing that you are somebody who operates so much more in this other timeline, this other dimensional resonance. And other individuals don't necessarily remember the way to get there, but you're still holding the space for this. And so perhaps it's harder and harder for people to reach you or to even make sense of some of the things that you are doing, either by choice of like what you're wearing or the things that you're talking about or caring about, or the passions or creative pursuits that you're into now, the friends that you have now. It's like some people are wondering what has changed, and I think it's just that as you're emerging, you're bringing just a little bit more of yourself every time forward, uh, to a certain extent. So let's start. 26 came out, and this is what reminded me of this topic, and I was so ecstatic. I was like, yes, thank you, Spirit. I'm ready to talk about this. I'm ready to see the messages. It says, the heavy is the root of the light. The unmoved is the source of all movement. Thus the master travels all day without leaving home. However splendid the views, she stays serenely in herself. Why should the lord of the country flit about like a fool? If you let yourself be blown to and fro, you lose touch with your root. If you let restlessness move you, you lose touch with who you are. So I'm sensing there's this connection to the deepest part of yourself and the essence, the true essence of what really brings you back to what matters, and what you would do with your time and energy if there was no hustle, no bustle, no requirements or responsibilities that seem challenging. It's like, what would we do? We'd probably relax in the sun if that's your thing, or in the shade, whatever it might be, but just taking a deep breath and relaxing. And what is relaxing? To ease the muscles is like to almost release the constriction of the container of the skin and let it slowly melt into one's environment and atmosphere. And so I'm seeing this formlessness as part of what you truly crave and enjoy. And excuse me here, it's part of the reason why you're known as more introverted by yourself or for others. Excuse me again. Rest and renewal came out here with this, the many skulls here showing someone contemplating endings and things that return patterns. And so, four of activations to me talks about what is sustaining, what remains. Rest and renewal is to say, yes, I've poured myself forth. Now I'm going to invite the energy to come back in. So it's like we release with one hand and accept with the other. So I will skip around just a bit here. The what I call code cards here, this mixed deck, is laid out in a modified Celtic cross, just the main crosshairs here, as I call them. The first card out representing yourself is 31, magic. So you are very magical, and I sense that the so-called real world doesn't actually have a lot to offer you, and it's not a place that's necessarily inviting or accepting of you if you're just allowing yourself to radiate and pour forth. It might come with some type of resistance at the very least. Crossing your magical capacity here, we have the soul star chakra merging with the divine. And that's the process that's going on with you at all times as you're integrating your healing and contemplating your environment and working yourself out, in essence, merging with the divine and with your higher heart, with your core and your center, and opening yourself up to these cosmic potentialities. I see that the puppy has moved the camera just a bit here. There, I think that we'll go with that. It's not quite the same, but it's all right. So yeah, you're spending this time very much in that dissipated, formless energy, just riding the waves of magic and conjuring, manifesting from your own abundance consciousness, from this foundational perspective of free thought, free consciousness, and knowing that true freedom is that understanding that we create what we dwell upon. And so you dwell in the space and the stronghold in the temple of magic. And in this sacred space, your life is a walking, evolving miracle. And it's a very harmonious song. So this is distant past here, this pineal perspective. It's as if, too, you're receiving a lot of information in your time alone, and it's almost like it's so much a part of who you are. It just weaves into your consciousness, and you're not even physically recording or sharing this information. But then as individuals are crossing your path, as you emerge or others kind of join you in your space, I'm seeing that as things are engaged, every time that somebody brings something forward, it's triggering something that had been thought of previously. And it's like people will start to um, stitch a thread for you, and you can say, I've been thinking about something similar, and it goes like this and this, and this is what Spirit showed me. And in that way, you are really opening up consciousness and evolving consciousness co-creatively with other individuals. In the recent past, the first one out was throat chakra, talking about the messages that you receive and also your ability to translate and to work through and chew on and integrate and reflect on those messages. And it's not only, of course, about implicating and identifying these anomalies or things that show up reflected in the faces of so-called others. It's witnessing and identifying the tap root, the root of that issue that corresponds and coalesces with our own root. How does it affect us? What does it soothe? what does it feed us, and does it soothe or sting? It's like putting that medicine on the wound as a child. One of them used to really sting, and lo and behold, it wasn't as healthy as the one that didn't sting in the long run. All right, stay out of there. So the next ones coming out to clarify that are crown chakra, the unlimited self. Mount Shasta has been coming out a lot recently, talking about the land, the physical land, and the way that we're either cultivating, moving it around, shifting, shaping, charging the ley lines, holding space and physical, or co-creating with literal building blocks and resources. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And soul time, that contemplation that's happening. It's like, it's really weaving through and showing you a lot of information about the wheres, the whys, and the hows of things, so that you have the information to assist in mending people's, whether it's cognitive dissonance or dissociation or need to reclaim some type of fragmented self identity or identity crisis or something such as that. You're bridging the realms between the magical and mundane. You're able to flit between these states of awareness. Yes, I think that we'll leave that one there. At the top of the reading, the first three came out with the Rest and Renewal deck that we had shown. That was the bottom of the deck. These are the three that came out with it. We have this beautiful artwork. Go ahead and check that out for your own purposes there. We had recently, this one came out recently, and it comes out again. It's 59, Infinite Self-Realization, 10 of Activations. It's like through this pineal perspective, this abundance mindset, you're able to create things through time and space that wouldn't possibly otherwise be possible with other individuals that are working in the third dimension or just working in the fifth dimension. Let me just move this. I feel like I'm hanging out off the side of the camera like crazy here. There, I'm not leaning anymore. All right. So it's over and over again, showing oneself to oneself, being able to hold your own space and identity and create harmony for yourself within chaotic structures of adverse circumstances and so on. 5 of light codes. Through instability, you are able to gather your energy and really dig in and plant your seeds and cultivate your consciousness, your contributions, whatever it might be, your service, and just your beingness here. You're able to ground and center through adversity. And so you're an anchor point on this earth grid for yourself and others. And so even though you're so somewhat out of dimensional sight, you're ever omnipresent with your friends, with your family, with your all of the balls that you're juggling in the air at once. It's like you've got this huge cosmic perspective and astral entangled connection. And so you are working with this multiplicity energy, and you're able to stay connected in a way to continue that ebb and flow, reciprocal flow of energy to those things that matter. And it's generating such a what's it called? Centrifugal force that you are self-activating over and over and over again, and possibly you don't even realize it, but I think most of you do. I think most of you are like, that's why you're so almost, I don't want to say addicted, but I do. It's like you're obsessed with staying in this magical zone because it's so peaceful and beautiful, and it's the way that life should be, but it has gone so far away from it. No, no, puppy, come on. Thank you. The last one here is a Sword of Assertion, Paladin of Activations. So Sword of Assertion here seems to be like a truth speaker card. So you're so caught up in that bliss, ecstasy, spiritual abundance, prosperity mindset that you hold this sword of truth for other individuals. And so you're able to create this clarity. It's important for you to show in whatever tiny seeds you can plant within the collective consciousness at any given moment, even by a smile or a twinkle in your eye or a spring in your step observed by anyone at any given time. You are the pattern interrupt that comes in and resets and reharmonizes and activates the resonance codes within other individuals. So we also have at the top of the Celtic cross, we have healing coming out with communication. So I see that part of your pathway here has come across with this idea, perhaps false, that come on out of there. Come on. Out. Thank you. Come. Come on. Sorry. That I keep getting distracted, but apologies. You're healing the idea that you've been misunderstood. Even though you have, it's not because you weren't being clear, it's because you were in this different dimensional state, and so the language didn't translate appropriately. So you're healing your ability to communicate across transdimensionally here. So you're getting these infinite self-realizations that not everybody speaks as fluently in this magical code as yourself, and you're getting better and better at harmonizing the clashing frequencies that are emitted so that they're more gentle and easily accommodated into the collective streams that you are enmeshed with in different circumstances. That sounds kind of tragic. But yeah, you're bringing this truth code in through others' adversity. You are somebody who helps them quite a bit to heal their ability to digest and understand what spiritual lessons or personal patterns are at work and at play within their energy structures, because you see things from the end. So moving into the outcome position, we do have this integration card that we're talking about here, with you being able to integrate this powerful perspective and to be able to either metaphorically, symbolically, or just energetically through emotional acceptance, words of affirmation, gifts, whatever it is that's your love language, you're able to break through this threshold of individuals, and somehow through storytelling versus lecturing, there's an ability for you to capture the inspirational spark of hope within the heart space of other individuals, and you're able to kind of coax them into reigniting some of their inner fires. And so you're helping them to connect with their magical capacity and with their belief that this is a limitless magical place and environment, that we do in fact have the potential to live out this heaven on earth reality if we can only learn how to work with the flow and the surrender and the magical capacity to stay uplifted and proactive and so on. So the clarifying cards for integrating this experience into your world here is coming out with this first, beyond the mind. There's been a lot of narratives and perspectives and false reflections of people who were threatened or triggered, or wanted to suppress or reject or resist those messages. But you're coming through it on the other side, having this extreme faith and extreme power behind your gentleness here, moving beyond the mind into that higher heart, into crystallizing reality in the quantum realms. And it comes out with Star Seer. See how that realm bridger works with this energy as well. I want to see if I can get these all out for you. So see how that realm bridger here is similar in a way. This person brings these perspectives from one limitless possibility and brings them down, and then shows either evidence of their own trials or examples, or shows somebody the, dare I say, silver lining here. But then this is uplifting. It's assisting other people to transcend the mountains in their own environments and situations here, to understand how to digest the messages that spirit is attempting to deliver. And so it's helping people with this process of consciousness evolution, getting back into their hope and their faith and their belief in beauty and magic and love in general. But it's also helping with the ascension of the entire multiverse at the same time. Look at how enormous you are shown in this energetic level. This is also giving some astral and distance Reiki type vibes, however you do your magic. It's profound, and other people are feeling that you are almost beyond this realm. You're definitely beyond their ability to comprehend. And so, like I say, with this ability to just vaporize, here you are, that they can't even perceive you because they're so small back here in their journey. Not to say that you're bigger, badder, faster, better, but I think you understand what I mean. So expansive, so inclusive, that your energy signature is so diverse, and it spans and expands around other individuals in multiplicity. I think that those that this message is for understand this and how it's coming through their own world. So you're integrating something and moving beyond your mental fears, anxieties are playing small, and you're ready to really open yourself up to what this is. And there's some gifts, some very unique gifts that you have here that you're cultivating. Oh, endless opportunities to express your truth here, to change the paradigm, shifting the paradigm, and getting into this point of harmonic flight. And harmonic flight for me is often about your true partnership and romantic love partner. Ooh, and it's coming out with Merkaba as well, and Starseed Elemental behind that. So within this travel capacity and this expansive capacity, I do think that it's time now to get back into some of these other cards here. We've got the homemade cards telling a story about somebody who wants to ask you out on a date, or you want to ask somebody else on a date. We have this golden light code activation coming through for the introvert who's been spending time in nature or by themselves, grounding, cleansing, clearing, and opening themselves up to these golden light code activations that we see coming through here with this infinite self-realization of how to assert one's truth and to impact their environment and not create disharmony or resistance when they do so. And there's this regret. I'm sorry. It's like I regret to inform you I'm not going to be able to make it because I'm petting my cat. My dog's holding me down to the couch tonight, and I'm not going to go out peopling tonight, is kind of what I'm seeing this saying. But there's times where that's healthy, and then there's other times where it's just resistance and comfort seeking for the expected and the norm. And I think that you're somebody who really needs to have a few more adventures out in the realms of magical potential beyond what you can create and cultivate and even kind of control. I think that you're looking for a little bit of this spark of inspired, interesting adventure. So it says, I love deep conversations, air, somebody who can move with you through these paradigm shifts and shift between these realities and realms. You're looking for somebody who has this understanding on a deeper level because you're an ascending master. You've got this 33 self mastery. But yeah, somebody wants to get to know you a little better and see if there's some good flow in the relationship. They want to, or you want this romantic adventure. And I feel like you are so intuitive. You kind of feel this coming, somebody wanting to come and see you. But it's putting yourself potentially or them in a state of being a little fearful of commitment because of all of the compromises that you feel that sometimes you have to make to your personal freedom and evolutionary journey when you allow other people into your private realm because they influence the waters of your sacred space, your sacred temple. And so it's important to get the right people in the job. So we've got Mercury coming out with Mars, which has come out several times in the last few days together. Somebody who has a very impassioned ability to communicate with you and to communicate with some level of inspired action, inspiration, and so on, but without fighting or defensiveness or conflict mindset because you don't have time for that. You're in the middle of your glow up, and it's important for you to have somebody who helps you to encourage to glow and shine and expand, and who doesn't create a shadow over you that casts you in an improper environment suitable to your optimal thriving growth. So we see this young male coming in. I don't know if it's somebody younger than you or just somebody that's new to you, but they're bringing this youthful presence into your life. And this can be somebody who's very motivated and fresh. And it looks like there's the potential for power couple here. Under the deck, there were a lot of signs, so we're going to kind of skip those in the interest of time. Somebody may be looking to get a reaction from you in the next few days, but you have a lot of spiritual protection. There's evil eye, return to sender, especially if anybody's wearing a mask, fronting with you, hiding their inner child or their urge for trauma bonding. You've got no time for all of that. You're patient with Wheel of the Year, and you know what your best friend or your spirit would say because your best friend is nature, and it's like somebody's nature doesn't lie. Throat chakra, it's all in what they say and what they don't say. You can read the subtext, and yeah, you're looking to completely immerse in your freedom. You don't want somebody creeping on your energy, coming around all the time because there's this return reunion, but there's this ending with 99.99. Astral travel, love bomber, secret admirer, and then chemistry, inner conflict, and somebody having mad respect for you with 2222. So there's a lot of stuff going on where you are really being discerning about the people, places, and things that are coming into your environment, um, or whatever, into your sacred space, and those people, that their opinions or the things that they think, do, and say, how they impact you internally. Are you holding